Have you ever stayed just because you loved somebody? Even when you knew that it was hurting you? You can love someone and you can still leave. Have you ever had to walk away from somebody that you still loved? It wasn't because the love was gone, but it was because you were gone. Any ladies that are listening to this right now, I know you know what I'm talking about, because we are notorious for leaving a situation mentally and emotionally before we take our final exit physically. What's up, you guys? It's Jess, and welcome back to Life in the Gray. This is our space to talk about all the messy, complicated, it's just not that simple things that people don't like to talk about out loud. But you already know we get into all of the uncomfortable spaces here because we are 50% healed, 50% messy, but always 100% real. So today we're going to talk about something that's probably going to punch you right in the gut, or maybe more so right in the heart, because we're going to be talking about how you can love someone and still feel like you have to let them go. Because we all know that love doesn't fix everything, contrary to what we were taught growing up. And honestly, sometimes I wish love did fix everything. I would often think maybe if I just love them a little harder, that'll make them change. Or if I just understood them more, supported them more, gave them more. But all I was doing was giving away more and more pieces of myself, and I never got them back. But here's the thing, when you're in it and you're doing all the things, trying so hard to make something work that you see is falling apart right before your eyes, it doesn't feel like you're losing yourself. It feels like you're loving them. It feels like you're pouring into something that you feel is worth it. It feels like you're doing the right thing, until one day you wake up and you realize that you don't even know what you need anymore. Sometimes you don't even know who you are anymore. Sometimes we pour into people so much that we leave nothing for ourselves. And then you end up in survival mode in a relationship. And then you start to feel lonely even when you have someone. And then you start to feel lost. Because let's just be real. Love without respect, love without safety, love without any effort is just pain wrapped in a pretty little bow. And the one thing people don't like to hear is sometimes the best thing you could do is just love a person from a distance. You don't have to run the love into the ground. The one thing that I really wanted to get away from, now that I'm on my healing journey, nowhere near fully healed. Once again, if you listen to my first episode, I don't believe you ever get fully healed because life is always lifing. But on my healing journey, I've gotten to the point to where I want to remove myself from things before I ruin the thing. If there's a connection that I just really feel isn't working for me, I don't want to get to the point to where I feel like I hate the person before I just leave. Like, breakups don't always have to be messy. And I feel like people feel like they're doing themselves a disservice if they don't fight the good fight. Well, what is the good fight? Because what is the prize if you're trying to keep someone that doesn't want to be kept? What is the prize if you're trying to keep yourself in a situation that you can obviously see that you no longer fit in? So fight the good fight, yes, but it has to make sense. It has to make sense, and you can't fight alone. And if you're fighting each other, it's definitely time for you to go. And the craziest part is leaving isn't the hardest part. A lot of us have left situations multiple times. The hardest part is staying gone, because this is where it gets messy. You have to know that once you leave a person that you love and possibly even loves you back, you are going to miss them tremendously. Every single day, that first 30 days of detaching yourself from someone or something, it's hard. It's hard. They say it takes 21 days to break a habit. I don't know how long it takes to break a habit that you're in love with. It seems to me that it would be easier to convince yourself to break a habit when you can clearly see that it's hurting you. But what happens when you also love that thing? It's no different than you trying to stop eating the favorite food that is causing your blood pressure to shoot through the roof. What do? How long does it take when you still love somebody? The answer is, I don't know. But what I do know is every single day you have to choose you. You have to know that you made the right choice. You can cry about them, but keep walking. You can wish that things were different and still know that there's no way that you can go back. Now, the black and white thinkers will say, if you left, then you never loved them in the first place. But you and I know that it's just not that simple. Welcome to the gray. So this is how I got through those moments, how I got through blaming myself for failed relationships, how I got through beating myself up for feeling like I should walk away, how I got through feeling like choosing me was an act of selfishness, how I got through it. I had to stop asking them if me leaving meant that I didn't love them. I had to ask myself, does it mean that I love me? Do I love me in this situation? Do I love who I am? That's the dangerous part. Some of us are so willing to sacrifice ourselves just to keep a relationship with another human being alive, just to stay connected. You'll sacrifice your morals, your values, your hopes and dreams, just to stay connected to a person. And I think that's why it's so important to be equally yoked. And I think a lot of people are confused when it comes to that, because it doesn't mean that you guys like the same things. It doesn't mean that you guys have the same interests. It doesn't mean that you guys make the same amount of money. It means that you're on the same path. You see, if we bought a plane ticket, let's say we're going to California. If both of us are going to California, it doesn't matter where you sit on that plane, because we're going to the same place. It doesn't matter when you board. It doesn't matter when you unboard. All that matters is we are going to the same place. And I tell you, sometimes we focus too much on making sure a person is sitting next to us instead of just making sure that they're at least on the same flight. Some of y'all just want to date a person that's able to sit in first class like you, and y'all are on two separate planes going in two separate directions, and you want to spend the rest of your life or the next 5 to 10 years trying to convince them why they should get on your flight instead of being on theirs, the flight that they were called to take. They should sacrifice their journey for you. Could you imagine? That is what a lot of you try to do. You try to convince people that they should sacrifice themselves for you. And I mean no disrespect, but who the hell are you? Just like you want someone to support your dreams, your ambitions, Just like you want someone to respect your values, your boundaries. Just like you want somebody to love you for just being you. I think all of us deserve that courtesy. I think all of us deserve a space to where we can just be ourselves. And unfortunately, if you feel like you love someone, but you are not able to give them that space, you should let them go. Because you guys are not on the same flight. You are not going to the same places. But maybe there'll be a layover somewhere. Maybe someone will change course and you will so happen to meet up with each other again when you are on the same path. But for right now, for today, you have to let them go. All right, y'all, really quickly. If you are enjoying the vibes of this conversation and you are ready to join a space where you don't have to fake it or pretend like you have it all figured out, then you need to join the 50/50 Club waitlist. The waitlist is now open, and the great part about it is if you join the waitlist now, once the group opens, you will be one of the founding members. And not only will you get to join for free, but you will also have a free lifetime membership. That's right, a free lifetime membership for all founding members. So do not wait. Join now because there are only a limited amount of spots available. So go ahead and click the link down in the show notes, or go ahead and text the number down below and we will get you in. And until then, I will see you on the inside. And yes, the decision will be hard as hell. I will not lie about that. It will definitely be something that cracks you open. There's nothing worse than meeting an amazing person and understanding that they're amazing, but they're still not the right person for you. That's love. Loving a person so much that you're willing to let them go out and find something or someone that knows and is willing to accept them for who they truly are. That is the greatest act of love that you can ever show someone. It may hurt in the moment, but I promise you they'll understand. And eventually you will too. Because you're not only holding them back, you're holding yourself back too. And I just want you to know this does not only apply to romantic relationships. This also applies to friendships. This also applies to your family. You know how some people graduate high school and they're like, I just need to find myself. I just need to get away from my hometown, and they just move. Because sometimes you have to experience things different. When you leave your family and you go move across country to go to school or to pursue your dreams, it doesn't mean that you love them any less. Doesn't mean you love them any less. You just have to love them from afar because you guys are not on the same flight. They're not going where you meant to go. And we have to embrace our own journeys. We have to embrace our own journeys. And with that being said, I do want to go into the fact of don't force people to be the bad guy. I know you're probably wondering, what the hell are you talking about, Jess? Why are you doing this? Where are you heading? Where are you heading? I'm going to tell you where I'm heading. There's a lot of people in relationships right now that know the relationships are over, can't be saved. You don't like each other. You barely, if at all, respect each other. But you don't want to be the bad guy. No, you want to paint them to be the bad guy. You want them to do the dirty work. Even though you know very well that you no longer want to be there. So how do you make a person out to be the bad guy? I'll set expectations that they don't even know exist just for them to fail, and I can come back and tell them how much they're failing me. I can come back and tell them after the fact how I feel so let down because they didn't do any of the things that I expected them to do, expectations that I never voiced in the first place. So you don't give a person a blueprint when you want them to fail anyways. You set the table so that you can automatically be the victim, and then you make them feel bad about it. And if you have a person that actually wants to fight for this relationship, they're probably going to apologize. They're probably going to try and fix things. And when they do, you'll find something else. And you'll find something else. And you'll find something else. You'll probably give them a few things that they can do to try to make things better. But even that won't work because you know that it's over. You just don't want to be the bad guy. But you're only the bad guy if you are intentionally trying to hurt a person. So, in this scenario, staying and forcing someone to be the one to break things off, putting them through unnecessary hell just so that you can ease your conscience, makes you the bad guy. So, I say this again. If you love people as much as you claim that you do, don't be afraid to let them go. We don't own anyone. People are not property. People are people. And they have free will. And they deserve the opportunity to be able to make the best decision for them, just like you deserve the opportunity to make the best decision for you. So even if you don't want to be the first person to make the step out of the door, at least let them know where you stand. Where do you stand? Do you know where you stand? Or do you lie to yourself too? Do you know what you want? Or do you just think you know what you want because you see what you think everyone else has? Do you know what would make you happy? Do you know that your happiness is not another person's responsibility? Do you know that if you are feeling unfulfilled as a person, it doesn't matter who you're with because your issue is with you? You can't get into relationships expecting a person to fix all of your broken pieces. It's not their responsibility. Now, this may have taken a little bit of a turn, and you may be saying, well, what does this have to do with black and white thinking? I'll tell you what it has to do with black and white thinking, because people who tend to think in black and white will always see themselves as not being at fault, or they'll see themselves as being 100% at fault. There's never a middle ground. Let me tell you, sometimes things are not destroyed because you're bad people. Sometimes things are they're just not what you want them to be. Sometimes you find yourself forcing pieces to fit into spaces they never belonged to be in. Sometimes you just took a wrong turn. So I need you to understand, you don't have to put the villain title on anyone in order for you to remove yourself out of any situation. Out of any situation. People even do this with their jobs. Now, I've worked some shitty jobs, don't get me wrong. I've had some jobs where I had 1,001 reasons to leave. But there are also jobs, I've had maybe one or two jobs where the management was great. The people were amazing. Customers weren't rude. They cared about you. But it just wasn't the space for me. I just knew that I was meant to be doing something else. And it was time for me to go. Doesn't make me a bad person because I gotten what I needed from this experience. And now I know it's time for me to move on to something else. It doesn't mean that the job is a horrible place to work. It's probably good for somebody, but it's just not a good fit for me. I've done the time that I needed to do there, gotten what I needed to get out of it. And I could take all of those tools and all of that knowledge and apply it to the place that I'm going next. And you should do the same thing with people. Every encounter that you have with a person, there's something you can take away from it to make your relationships with the people you care about better. I even take my encounters that I have with people at work home. I have patience with people that I work with because I'm getting a check. See, a lot of us, we just value money way too much. You'll let somebody spit on you for $1. I don't mean literally, but a lot of people will take disrespect for money. But you can't go home and compromise with the person that you love. But you can't go home and have an honest conversation with the person that is there to help you when you're not feeling whole. But you can't go home and support the person that supports you even when you don't have the energy to support yourself. Those are the gray areas. It's accepting people for where they are. Not ditching them when they don't live up to your expectations. So, we're talking about removing yourself. But we're also talking about making sure you get what you need out of situations while you're there. Things are never black and white. And sometimes the gray area is darker than what we expect it to be. Sometimes it's hard to see through. Sometimes we do have to just have faith and make a blind decision. And if it was a wrong decision, hey, it's okay. It was the best decision for the time. And you used everything that you knew to make that decision. So here's my advice. Don't let love be the only reason that you stay. Your peace matters, your safety matters, you matter. But the other person also matters. Their peace matters. Their safety matters. They matter. So if you cannot give the very things that you seek in others, it's probably not the place for you. It's probably not the place that you're meant to be. We all have different views of love. And it's not meant for you to agree with me. It's not meant for me to tell you how you should view love. But I do think that the people that you interact with on a daily basis, the people who are in your most intimate spaces, I do believe that they at least deserve to know you. Deserve to understand you. And if they're not willing, then that's a telltale sign. And if you don't feel safe enough to express those things, that's also a telltale sign. So, I don't want to encourage people to walk away from good connections that are just going through a rough patch. But you know when it's time to go. And I'm just encouraging you to stop wasting your time and theirs. If you know it's time, make the move. Make the move. And when you move like that, you can leave it with the very same love that you had while you were there. Because if any situation costs you yourself, then it's just too damn expensive. Love them, but love you more.